One of the founders of our country, Thomas Jefferson, in the Declaration of Independence, says that we are all endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Then he goes on to describe them. He said, we have the right to life, to liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Notice he said the first two, life and liberty, are just guaranteed rights. But the third, he said we are not really entitled to happiness, but only the pursuit of happiness. Mr. Jefferson was a wise man. He realized that happiness can never be guaranteed to anyone, though everyone should be free to seek it. But as most of us soon discover, happiness is probably the most elusive element in the whole world. It's about like trying to pin down a little ball of mercury with your finger. Press on it, it slides away. That's kind of like what happiness is. It just continually slips away from us. Well, Jesus understood this. And in Matthew's Gospel, he gives us a kind of a formula for finding happiness. He gives us what has come to be called the Beatitudes. And they are so called because the word blessed, which begins each sentence, is often translated in many versions of the Bible. Instead of blessed, it's happy. So it says then, happy are the poor, happy are the sorrowing, happy are the lowly, so on. The reasoning of Jesus certainly doesn't square away with our experience, does it? How in heaven's name could anyone expect to find happiness when they don't have anything, when they're sorrowing? Isn't sorrowing the same as unhappy? Or when they're not thought of very highly? As a matter of fact, we expect to find happiness in the exact opposite of the way Jesus expressed it. Of course, perhaps that's why we spend most of our lives unhappy and dissatisfied. We keep looking in all the wrong places, and so we often end up pretty miserable. Now, I'm reminded of a story told about a man who came home late at night, and as he was pulling in his driveway, his headlights picked up the man next door at his stoop by the front door, down on all four, looking around. So he went over and he said, did you lose something? The man said, yeah, I lost my keys over in the driveway. He said, well, if you lost your keys in the driveway, why were you looking for them here at the front door? He said, well, there's more light here. Well, that's kind of what we do. We look in all the wrong places. And it's kind of interesting that we should do that because our country is one of the top countries of the whole world when it comes to wealth and material possessions. But if we saw anyone trying to put round pegs in square holes, we'd probably think that maybe they've been out in the cold a little too long. And yet we do something that is even more infinitely makes less sense. St. Augustine told us a couple thousand years ago, about 17 or 1800 years ago, he said, you have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts will find no rest, no happiness, until they rest in you. Maybe we still haven't heard the words of St. Augustine, or maybe we're just not listening to it. I wonder which it is. Like Thomas Jefferson said, we've been endowed with the right to life, to liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we just insist on pursuing it in all the wrong